So good afternoon to all. Hope you all are doing great. So today in this video, we'll be discussing about ITC share. So about this particular stock, many people were asking to make a video. So today we'll discuss the complete fundamentals of the company and also we'll do the technical analysis. So whenever ITC share name comes, so most of the people who do in the stock market, they remember about the tobacco. So the major business, we know that 40% of the profit which is generated for the ITC comes from the cigarettes. So currently we can see the situation for ITC has not been that great. So continuous downfall was seen in the stock, but later it has become technically neutral, but much movement was not seen in the stock. So today we'll discuss the complete fundamentals and also we'll see the latest insider transactions that happened in the company and what will be the future prospects, and also we'll do the volume analysis to find out the next set of targets. So before that, if you're new to the channel, then definitely subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to get instantly notified. So when we see the shareholding pattern of ITC, so clearly we can see the major chunk, we can see 43.3% is present with public, and rest of all you can see 32.6% is present with other institutions, and mutual fund as well as FIIs are also having a very good holding. So when we see ITC, so when we discuss about ITC stock, so when we go back to the year starting, that is January month, so we know that ITC used to trade near 230 rupees, 240 rupees, but later again after the March stock market crash, also the stock when it has gone almost to 155 levels, again when the buying was seen, but later the movement was stagnant. Okay, so much movement was not seen, so many people have bought the shares. So regular comments, have received regular comments regarding ITC that we are stuck at this particular level, so much movement is not there. So some people were satisfied with the dividend. Okay, so when we discuss about dividend, we know that excellent dividend is given by the company. So currently we are seeing some underrated in this particular stock, even though there is a bright future. So many option traders also, they're using ITC stock as a hedging tool. So since the volatility is very less, they're encashing that for the option trading. Okay, so generally when we see the movement of ITC, we generally see only minute movement. Okay, but when we discuss the fundamentals of the company, which are too great, the diversification into paper, whether it may be biscuit segment, completely into the FMCG, as well as the major business that is the cigarette, is the major boosting for the company. So when we compare the ROE, that is return on equity, which is maintained at 22%, which is very great when compared to the entire FMCG sector. So that is improving on regular basis, so year on year that is also improving, so that point also should be noted. So we'll discuss about ROE in the next slides, so watch the video till end. So when we see the P by ratio, so price to earning ratio is one of the main key factor that we do in any stock. That is the first step towards the fundamental analysis. So when we see the PE ratio, so currently you can see ITC is having a very good PE, and we can see almost 14.5x as compared to the tobacco industry, which is trading at almost 14.7x. So we can say almost at fair valuations only ITC is trading. So when we compare the share value with actual value, so how much overvalued is the share? So clearly you can see not much, only 23.2% overvaluation is present. So current price almost around 170.85, and we can see fair value is around 138.73. So how these fair values are calculated? So I discussed in earlier videos. If you have not watched the videos on how to calculate the fair valuation of a company, so definitely you can watch my earlier videos. So many factors are required to calculate the fair valuation. Okay, so when we discuss about earnings as well as revenue growth, so this is the one key factor that is essential for any stock to improve the financials and also to boost the share price. So currently you can see this region is nothing but the earnings, and the blue color region is nothing but the revenue. So the forecast is suggesting that even in the next coming year, so that may be 2022 or 2023, so you can see how the earnings are also getting forecasted. So currently the situation, we know that that COVID pandemic is drastically affected many businesses, but FMCG is the one segment which has given a good as well as decent returns in a short span of time. So when we compare not only ITC, so when we see major players like Britannia, which is also a competitor for the Sunfeast brand in the biscuits, so dark fantasy is one thing which is attracted to many people. So prices always don't remain same. So when demand increases, automatically prices increases. So even if the cigarette company, when the price starts increasing, we can also expect how much it will affect the financials. So definitely financials also will improve, and also you're getting a very good dividend. So you need to remember these key factors. So when we see the future growth, that is the forecasting of the earnings, so clearly you can see the company is providing almost 12.9%, where industry is around 18.1% and market is around 26.3. Okay, so company is improving and it requires little bit of time. And one thing you need to remember when you're investing in ITC, that you should not do any sort of short-term investment. So short-term trading is completely avoided. So this is a stock which requires long-term patience. So fundamentally we have seen basic things what is essential for the company. So short-term trading is completely avoided, because that much amount of returns that you're expecting in short term may not be achieved, but for long term you can definitely expect huge returns. So when we see the revenue, so what can we expect from the revenue? So you can clearly see when the market is providing 11.7%, industry itself is providing 13.5. So you can see company is almost 12.3, almost we can see it is beating the market and also approaching to the industry average. So which is a very good, we can see movement will be seen in the future as well. So as we discussed in the beginning of the slides, we discussed one important point, that is return on equity. So return on equity is one such thing that tells about the management, how effectively the management is utilizing the capital to generate the profit and maximize the overall financials. So this is what ROE suggests. And if we see ROE especially for ITC, so clearly we can see it is forecasted to be high in 3 years, which is almost around 24.3%. Okay, so ROE is almost increasing as compared to its peer competitors in the same sector, which is a very good, we can say, positive indication for the company in the coming years as well. So ROE is one thing which completely defines the future of the company. You need to remember this point whenever you're doing any fundamental analysis. So when we see the debt to equity ratio, so debt on any company is the major thing we need to find out. But in this company, we are seeing the debt to equity ratio is completely nominal. So not much debt is present in the company. And if you see equity is increasing and debt, you can see is completely flat. And if you see the debt to equity ratio, you can see almost 0.01. Okay, so this is one thing. So generally one above is generally risky investment, but you can say completely debt to equity ratio is 0.01, which is a very strong indication for a company. You need to find companies, especially for long term, whose debt to equity ratio is completely negligible. And you can see reducing debt, and you can see that debt to equity ratio has reduced from 0.6 to almost 0.01. And if you see how much amount of debt is present, you can see almost 131 million is present. That is the debt which is present on the company, which is very negligible as compared to the market cap of the company. So valuation wise, the debt is very negligible and it considerably reducing. So debt coverage as well as interest coverage, so clearly you can see are covered well with the operating cash flow. Yes, so when we come back to the dividend, so dividend is one thing which each and every investor will satisfy themselves, even though the stock price is not giving much movement, but the dividend which it gives is very satisfactory. So yes, it's completely satisfactory. So if you see the dividend which it is providing is almost 5.94%, and when you see the company is providing 5.9, and if you compare with the industry average which is 6.7%. So dividend wise, all of us know, so whenever ITC comes in mind, especially many people invest for the dividend, and also they have earned very much in the dividend. So monthly averaging, weekly averaging, SIP investment, so many types of strategies are seen in ITC, especially for the dividend. So as we have seen in the thumbnail, so we told that we'll be discussing about the insider transaction. So first we'll see the insider volume. So clearly you can see in the past 3 months we can see selling has been seen in the stock. So 3 to 6 months as well as 6 to 9 months. So we can see much buying which is not seen by the insider. So at any point of time buying may also happen because money flow index, when we go to the technical, so clearly we'll understand it is into the oversold region. So any point of time reversal may happen, so which is very important. So watch the technicals as well without skipping the video. So clearly when we see the insiders volume, so clearly you can see 18 lakh shares have been removed in the past 3 months, that is only from the insider side. And when we see 6 to 9 months also almost 17 lakh shares have been removed. So who are those people who have done the transaction? So we'll discuss that. So clearly the recent insider transactions, you can see Murli Ganeshan, who has sold almost so Murli Ganeshan has sold almost 34 lakh worth shares, and next we have seen Radhakrishnan has also sold. Next H Vinayaka and C Sarma. So these are the main insider people who have sold in heavy quantities. So this is the basic insider transactions that you can obtain from the sites like Simply Wall Street, or you can directly go for the insider trading details in any of the website. It may be Trendline, it may be StockX. So anything, you can go through all these websites to find out the insider transactions, which will be very beneficial. So you'll understand what is actually happening within the management, which is very essential to know when you're investing in any company. So you need to know the key factors, what is actually happening behind the company. So now we're back on to the volume analysis. So volume analysis is one thing which is very essential we do on regular basis. So on October 1st, you can see 38.7% deliverable quantity was seen, and you can see there is a decline in the percentage. So earlier it used to trade in 43, 46, 43. Again, we are seeing some decline in deliverable quantity as well as traded quantity is increasing, which is showing that some sort of heavy trading is seen by big players. So we see much trading in this stock. So deliverable quantity will increase and it takes little bit of time. So we'll move on to the technical charts to find out the next set of targets. So we are back onto the technical chart. So technical analysis of ITC. So clearly you can see when it has taken support near the 157 rupees. So we have seen some good movement and response by the stock. So whenever it has touched the stock, we have seen a good movement. Again, it is trying to approach near the 157 rupees level. So 157, 160 in those particular regions, if anyone is willing to have a fresh investment, especially we have discussed the complete fundamentals. I am hoping that you have understood each and every point clearly. If you have not understood anything, so please recap the video and watch it as many as times you can, so that you will understand what is the essence of the company and how much future is present. So I am completely believing that future is completely there for it, and it is not a short-term stock, and it is a long-term stock, and it should not be underrated. So remember these words before you are investing in this stock, especially for long-term. And if we see technical indicators like money flow index, so clearly it is suggesting it is into the oversold category. So what is oversold region? So whenever money flow index goes below 30, it is called oversold, and above 70 is called overbought. So oversold region, reversal happens; overbought region, pullback will happen. So these are the key terms that you need to remember. So what we can see in one day chart. So one day chart also clearly we can see the stock has shown continuous downtrend. So whenever it has found big bearish candle, it is compensated by alternative green candle. So immediately next day buying was seen. But tomorrow, that is on Monday, must watch what will happen. So definitely if you're not joined the Telegram group as well, you can join the Telegram group. I'll provide the link in the description so that any updates regarding any stock are instantly posted. Okay. Same in one day chart also, the money flow index into the oversold region. So strictly follow the 160 rupees level as a support and start investing in small quantities. Okay. And also we have seen many brokerages updating the targets of the company, and they have provided good, we can see, long-term targets, whether it may be 200 plus or again approaching the 240 rupees level. So these are the long-term targets which requires completely patience and having the trust in the company, which is very essential. Okay, hope the technicals are also clear. So 160 is a very good support to add, especially in small quantities for the long term. So ultimately, what is the conclusion from this entire video? So hope each and every point is clear. So we have discussed the fundamentals as well as the technicals. So we have discussed one key important point, that is ROE, return on equity, and we have found it is high as compared to its yearly averages, and also the dividends which it is giving on regular basis. And we are probably seeing a good sign, especially in these two factors. Okay, so hope everything is clear. So majorly focus on these three key factors when you're investing in any company, and especially these companies whose cigarette manufacturing on regular basis, the prices will increase, which will also boost the income, and also which is testing the management. Okay, so completely it's a very good stock for long term, and also the dividend which it is providing is very great. So hope everything is clear regarding ITC. We have discussed each and every point. So if you've liked the video, definitely like it, and if you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe the channel. So until then, take care, bye bye.